But that was a game, Suns versus Bucks. We got the notification that Chris Middleton was back.
Yes.
I'm super excited for him.
Yeah.
I had something planned that morning or that afternoon. I was like, I can't, because this game is on.
Yeah.
And then we get the notification that Giannis is out. I'm like, man, this game about to be so.
To the arena,
and you got that.
So like, I didn't know Giannis was out. And then I get to the arena, I'm like, where Giannis?
Where Giannis?
John was like, Giannis ain't out there. I asked the dude, I was next. Is Giannis playing? He like, nah, he out today. I'm like, damn, I didn't even see that.
Damn. And it ended up being a great game. Shout out to Bobby and the Bucks. But that's just one of those losses for the Suns that just continues to accumulate. I just cannot trust that team.
It makes you, it does make you question them as a team, just like seeing that loss. Because like defensively, it's just like, how many defensive lapses can you have?
Yes.
And you're like down 20 plus to a team that don't have Giannis, and like you got to fight back, and like, what substance are we supposed to take from that?
I watched this game with a notepad.
Yeah.
Not a literal. I know you're a literal notepad guy, but like on my iPad. And I'm like, I want to see how many times the Phoenix Suns put Dame in the action. Mm-hmm. Right? There's no Giannis. Back level help is really just Brook Lopez at the end of the day. In the first 6 minutes, they put Dame in the action twice. And the offense ended up being fine, right? They ended up scoring 120 points or something like that. But there are so many times where Kevin Durant is just sitting in the corner.
Yes.
Or Bradley Beal sits in the corner for 4 straight possessions. And I'm like, bro, he's guarded by Damian Lillard, bro. One of the reasons why you think about this team on paper and look at that big three is because no team is going to have 3 perimeter players to guard him.
Absolutely.
So somebody's going to have the weak defender.
Yep.
In that case, it was Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's being guarded by Dame. How the hell is Bradley not coming to set the screen 100 times in this game so he could get the switch with Devin Booker guarding, being guarded by Dame, or Kevin being guarded by Dame? Kevin just sat around, and I'm like, I don't know if that's him.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's Vogel.
It was like the most passive game I've ever seen KD play, I think.
Yeah.
He was just out there just kind of chilling.
I'm also disappointed in the Suns, too, in the sense of, like, Grayson Allen has played really well. And I feel like coming into the season, we were all trying to figure out who was going to be that random role player that could, like, stand out for them.
Is it Keita Bates-Diop? Is it Yuta Watanabe?
Yeah, we were just kind of trying to figure. And, like, Grayson Allen has been, like, who I thought he was going to be, and he's been one of them. He's been, like, 2 role players a little bit into one. Just some of these games he's had since the All-Star break, and maybe he was having them before the All-Star break, but I feel like I'm really seeing it myself post-All-Star. I'm like, y'all should take. They had a game where like all 4 of them had like a dub plus and they lost. And I'm like, man, when Grayson Allen is a part of that club,
that Celtics game,
that's supposed to be like a win by 20. That's a cherry on top.
Yes.
And in this past game, I was disappointed just because I feel like we're at a point where it's like 16, 15 games left, and the Suns have not made that second half push of catching a stride. I know they did it early in the year, but they've been flip-flopping. They'll win a game, they'll lose 2. They'll win 2 games, they'll lose 1. They'll win a game, they lose 2. They've damn near been, correct me if I'm wrong, they've been like a 500 team since the All-Star break. They played about, 12, 13 games? They're probably 6-7.
I think every time I literally check,
6.
it says they're 5-5 in their last 10.
Yeah, like that's been the Phoenix Suns, and I think for the place that they at, trying to go into the playoffs, they have to catch some type of stride because they can be dangerous if they put it all together. You know what I'm saying? But like, it just goes back to kind of the point I was saying in the last episode. Not that I think I think what got lost in translation with a lot of last episode is the word overrated.
Yeah.
But it's like, take that out. But it's like, how do I properly rate the Suns if there is no consistency?
Yeah.
Because on paper, if they get matched up with a Timberwolves or OKC, on paper, I should fear that, and I should give them some benefit of the doubt. But by performance, there's nothing there besides the names of who they are when we talk about something. It's so many teams right now that we're giving a lot of respect to because of just their cachet and who they are versus the actual production. And so as an NBA analyst, as we get closer and closer to the playoffs and you're trying to take into account every single thing, I'm really having a hard time how to gauge some of these back-end teams because they have these strong names, and it's like if they catch a stride, we know what they're capable of, but they aren't catching the stride. Mm-hmm. And so it's like I'm fearful that we'll go into the playoffs and I'm gonna be the person that's like, and then they go catch the stride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm really having that hard time. Even the Warriors, I was big on the Warriors, and I was happy to get that win against the Lakers on Saturday, I believe that was. But it's like they went out and they lost a game to a Knicks team that started Miles McBride as a forward yesterday.
No OG, no Randall.
No OG, no
That's
Randall.
a really
Mitchell
bad
Robinson.
loss.
You know what I mean?
And they've had like 3 really bad. They lost to the Spurs. Remember
Yes,
that
they did.
game? They've had a couple really bad losses, and I just
And
that's
those
one
are
of
games
those
you're supposed
teams.
to be like, okay, we
Yes.
got that. We got
Yes.
that.
Take advantage.
Yeah.
And that's just one of those teams where I'm not thinking about them come postseason no more.